Hey guys, it's Bethany, your crafty BFF, and I am on today with a little tutorial. If you've been in the swapping community for, about a year now, you might remember a swap from last year that was hosted by Brooke, who is B Northway Designs here on YouTube. She hosted a little seed packet swap, and it was a really cute little seed packet folio mini album type thing that was originally made by Michelle, who is Pink Strawberries here on YouTube. I will have her and that video linked in the description box down below so you can see the original. I want to give credit where credit is due because all I've done is take that project and enlarged it. Beck from Beck's Crafting World 2 here on YouTube and I sorry, my desk is a mess, man. I was crafting just before I started this video. Didn't see the mess, but anyways, we were talking about how cute that swap was, but how difficult it was to find things small enough to put inside the seed packets. The seed packets from that tutorial were made from 6x6 pieces of paper, so you can imagine they were pretty tiny. And it was a challenge to find embellishments and die cuts that fit inside those small envelopes. So I have made the same project, just larger. And this is what it looks like. This is just my prototype. I've made it just out of white cardstock because I didn't want to waste my pretty paper on just a prototype. So for the tutorial, don't worry, I have pretty paper, pretty patterned paper. But these seed packets here are 4 inches wide by 6 inches tall, and they have the little flappy flap. I am going to put Velcro dots on all of the seed packets for the tutorial, but for this one I just put one on the outside so you can see that it closes like so, and it has this simple binding down here at the bottom. So Beck and I are going to be hosting a spring-themed swap this year together, and this is one of the projects that we are going to require, so let's jump into the tutorial. For the 4x6 seed packets, oh, and by the way, one more thing, I think the original only had 4 of the little seed packets. This has 6 because it will be a larger swap, and so yeah, 6 envelopes. So you're going to need 6 pieces of 8 by 8.5 inch paper. I'm going to list all the measurements and scoring down in the description box for this project because it is so simple, but I've already made 5 of my envelopes here, little seed packet envelopes here, but we're going to make one together. I'm going to move this out of the way, and you're going to get your 8 by 8.5 inch pattern paper, and on the 8 inch side, we are going to score at 1.5 and at 7.5. That's 1.5 and 7.5. Now this is going to be the top of your envelope, so make sure that if you have a directional paper, just know that the 1.5 inch score mark is the top of your envelope, so you want your pattern to be upright, right? Okay, so once you've scored at 1.5 and 7.5 on the 8 inch side, you're going to turn it to the 8.5 inch side, and we're going to score at 4 and at 8.5, or at 8, I'm sorry, at 4 and at 8. I will have all the correct measurements and scores down in the description box, so no worries. Now we're going to take this guy and bone fold, crease. You want to crease your score lines. I'm using my bone folder. Just creasing all of these score lines. and we're gonna do some snipping. So I recommend a long pair of scissors because we're gonna make some long cuts. But the first one that we're gonna make, I want you to turn your paper like this so that your flap, the 1.5 inch score, is to your left, and we're gonna cut down here. We're gonna do a slight diagonal cut here and a slight diagonal cut here, so that it should look something like that. And then we're gonna get rid of this little rectangle here. So I'm gonna do another diagonal cut here, and then I'm going to just snip this rectangle off, like so. I'm gonna fix that a little bit. There we go. Now we're gonna remove this entire rectangle here. So with your long scissors, you can do long, controlled, straighter cuts, and unlike the one I just did. So there we go. Cut that score line off completely. And then we're going to cut this rectangle off as well. And then do a little snippy snip diagonal cut right here. And you should have something that looks like this. Let me get this crud out of the way. So it should look like this. And now, if you want, you can round your corners on your flap. I like my 10mm rounded corners, but you do you. You don't have to round them. I just like the way it looks. And then the other option you have is to, on my little envelopes here, look, that one's really off center, but I did a little half circle punch there so that people might be able to get their stuff out a little easier. But that's totally optional as well. You definitely don't have to do that. I just try to eyeball it in the center and do a little half circle there. That one's not perfect, but they don't have to be. They don't have to be perfect. That's the glory of it. Okay, so now that you have done your little rounded corners and your optional little circle there, you're gonna fold this this little 1/2 inch score over here. We're gonna add some glue. If you want to use double-sided tape, you go right ahead. I'm using my glue. And I'm folding this over and pressing that down. Now you have the option to either, I like the look of it to put this on the outside, but you can also put this on the inside if you'd like and glue it that way. But I am going to do it this way. I just like the look of the little seed packets like that. So you do you. You can do it either way, and it'll work just fine. And now I'm gonna add a Velcro dot here. After I take a little sippy sip. I always add a little dot of wet adhesive to both sides of my adhesive dots, or my Velcro dots, because I don't trust the adhesive that comes on the back of them. So I just do that, and then I let it dry. I do not try to open that Velcro until it's had a good 5 minutes to dry, okay? And then your Velcro will stick to your paper a lot better if you give it time to dry. So then you have you'll do that to all 6 of your 8 by 8.5 inch papers to make your 4 by 6 inch seed packets. And then we're gonna let's go ahead and go over the covers. So you need a front and back cover. Those are gonna measure 4 by 6 inches. So two more pieces of pattern paper cut at 4 by 6 inches. Set those aside. We're not going to do any scoring to those. Then you're going to need a lid for your little mini album. So for that, you need a piece that is 4 inches by 4 inches. And we're going to score at 1.5 and 2 1/4. That's going to leave you with one side just a little bit shorter than the other. I like to put the longer side on the front of my mini album. So if you can see here, the front is just a little bit longer, and it gives you a 3/4 inch gusset there. That's what it's called. Okay, so then set that aside, and now you need your binding piece. For your binding piece, you need just another 4 by 6 inch piece of paper. You can use pattern paper. I'm just using plain pink cardstock here. But on the 6 inch side, we're going to score at every 1/2 inch. So 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4, 4.5, 5, and 5.5. Okay, then you can get rid of your scoreboard, and we're gonna do some mountain valley folds. So mountain, valley, mountain, valley, mountain, valley. You get the idea. Like that. So your paper should look like this. Mountain, valley, mountain, valley. I like to take it and just crease it, give it a good crease with my bone folder. And then I'm going to flip it so it's like this. And we're going to add our back cover first. So I don't want my binding showing on the outside, so I'm going to put my back cover right here on the outside of the binding, if that makes sense. Again, you can use your double-sided tape if you want, if you trust it. But I'm using my wet adhesive and putting on my back cover first. Just like that. Then I need to decide what order I want these in. I think I'm going to do something like that, okay? That works for me. I'm not going to put too much thought into it. So now I'm going to add my glue here to this little 1/2 inch tab, and just glue the bottom of my envelope on there, lining it up with the cover, the back cover. Then we're going to go to the next hinge, the next little, so you're going to skip the mountain and go to the next valley and put glue there. Add your next envelope or seed packet. I keep wanting to call them envelopes, but they're seed packets. They're whatever. Seed packets, coin envelopes, whatever. Then you're going to skip that section, go to your next section, add your glue. Add your next seed packet. Skip a section, go to your next one. Add your glue. Add your pocket. That's what we'll call them. We'll just call them pockets. I'm trying to line these up the best I can. You want to put it right above that score line. You don't want to put it on the score line. So now add your glue. Add your pocket. Skip one. Add your glue. Add your pocket. And then you'll fold this over and add glue to this one, and that's where your front cover will go. So that other piece of 4x6 cardstock, you're just gonna put that on right there. And you should have something that looks like this. Now take your lid, which was the 4x4" paper that we scored at 1.5 and 2 1/4. Like I said, I like the longer side for the front. I'm gonna go ahead and round the corners for the front of my lid there. And I'm just gonna glue it right here onto the back. So I'm just gonna add my glue right here to this smaller section, that 1.5 inch scored section. And honestly, you could put it on the inside if you like that look better. I'm just gonna put mine here on the outside. But either one will work. You can do the inside or the outside. Just make sure that you don't put it right on that score line. You want to give it just a little bit of space away from that score line so that it folds properly. And it's giving me difficulty. There we go. And then I'm just going to crease that down. And now we can add our Velcro dot to the outside cover and lid. So I'm going to take my little Velcro dot again. I'm going to add my wet adhesive, just a little dab. Try to center it. And then another little dab of wet adhesive, and then lay that down. And then I will wait to try to open this. I'm going to let it dry for a second before I open it and show you the final result. But this is what it should look like. Pretty easy, right? Just a lot of scoring. Scoring and folding. Okay. So now I'm going to open this very carefully, making sure my Velcro dot doesn't come off. There we go. And then you have your front cover, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and your back cover there. Now there's plenty of room to decorate the front. You can decorate each envelope if you want. I think a little embellishing each envelope would be really super cute, but especially decorating the outside for sure. So yeah, thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions or comments, let me know in the comments down below. I'll have all the measurements typed out for you in the description box. And yeah, I look forward to announcing the spring swap. Keep an eye out for that if you're interested in joining. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye.